good to see
It's
you.
good to see you too. You look so beautiful and
Oh,
sunshiny.
thank you. The sun is sunning over here. I just closed my blinds.
I love that. It is winter time over here, so the sun has gone to sleep for the day.
Yeah. I know. It's like it was 75 today here.
Oh my
Beautiful.
goodness. I miss that. I miss that
Oh yeah, I
sunshine
forget you're
weather.
from here.
Yeah. I know my mom's always like, come back to Texas. I'm like, honestly, that weather definitely is enticing.
Is it snowing there yet?
Not yet, but it
Okay.
just this week it got really cold here in Pittsburgh and it's rainy and wet. And the leaves are all falling, which I love the colors of
Yeah.
fall, so I do love that, but not quite
All
snowing yet.
seasons too. No, I love
Oh yeah.
seasons and like the symbology, letting go. Ooh,
Yeah.
so were you getting some cards ready for us?
Yes, I
Oh,
was getting
okay.
some cards. I had already called upon kind of the archangels
Mm.
and for guidance for the collective and kind of this card just popped out and
Mm.
kind of asking for like what does the collective need to know right now. I like to cleanse with smoke and I also
Mm.
like to test the spirit guides, so that card popped out and I put it back in and see if it comes out
Ooh, cool.
because sometimes I'm like, what do we want? What do you I want clear and direct messages, and I don't know if it's like a happy accident
Yeah.
or if it's something that's meant for the collective to hear. These cards, though, I really love these cards. One of my girlfriends, she got them for me. They have these
Ooh,
spirals on it.
that's pretty.
They come from Ireland. They're made by Sinead de Hora. I probably said that wrong because
Mm.
it's Gaelic, but she made these cards and they're oracle cards, and I love oracle cards
Me
because they
too.
give like clear direct messages. Whereas tarot readings are like, let me uncover the secrets via
Mm-hmm.
a treasure map.
Yeah, no, I ordered like some TikTok guide me. I ordered like a blind date with a deck thing. And I thought maybe actually, no, I think I did order tarot because I didn't have a tarot deck. And then I got it and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, this might be a gift for someone.
Yeah. I love
So I'm like, I like okay, cool.
that.
Here's my little reading.
Here it
Yeah.
is. I love it. And I set the intention to work in threes for
Ooh,
this round.
I love it.
Because I like working in threes. So the first couple cards, so I asked what the collective needs to know right now, um, for their highest good. And the first card that popped up is this beautiful purple,
Mm.
which is kind of in alignment with your third eye, so a lot of intuition. And the card says dreams. Pay
Mm.
close attention to your dreams. Your angels and loved ones are healing and caring for you when you sleep. Notice how you feel when you instantly awaken before your mind wanders in thought. This is your truth. Embody the love that you feel inside.
Mm.
Embody your inner peace. Yet let your dreams show you the way. Ooh,
Mm.
I resonate with that.
Me too. Although, man, I don't know if it's my melatonin or what. I've been having some freaky ass dreams, like murderous-ish, or like
Ooh,
or like there's hiding of murders, or I'm running away from a murder. There's like,
oh.
yeah, I'm like,
You're like,
that's
what is
very active
this?
dreaming. Yeah. When I asked for
Right.
like clarity, like I set an intention before I went to sleep the other night, I was like, okay, if I'm supposed to like have lunch with this person, I would like to receive clarity while I sleep. And then I had murderous dreams. So I'm like, I guess I don't know.
like,
I
okay, death or rebirth.
guess.
Are
Yeah.
we hiding from this death? But
Yeah.
are there like what's going on? Murderous
Hmm.
dreams hiding. That is so funny. And
Yeah.
it's funny because my dreams lately have also been very vivid and very
Mm.
like, but usually I wake up and I remember them. And these last few times I've woken up and really not like
Mm.
kind of remembered. I remember the images of the flashes, but then it just like goes away. So I like that reminder to, right before we awaken, like just really sit in that stillness to
Mm-hmm.
before we let
Yeah.
our busy days like take us away. Because our mornings are for ourselves. We have to find those moments and pockets of
Mm.
truth to experience our magic so that
Mm-hmm.
when we're navigating the beautiful chaos of the day, we're able to like, okay, yeah, I am me. I am okay. I
Mm-hmm.
am
No, I feel
magic.
that. I love having a slow morning. So like I don't even
Yeah.
have calls if I can help it until like 10 or 11 at least. So that I
Yes.
can like really ease into
That is my dream, honestly. Talking
it.
about
Yeah.
let your dreams show you the way. That is my dream for sure.
I'm like, lately I've been getting up earlier than normal with him, with my pup, but um yeah, I tend to yeah, make base it around
I
that.
love it. I love it.
But I like to
He's
set
so
myself
cute.
up. And especially if like I'm pouring into other projects or things or people, I like to pour into myself. And
Yeah.
yeah, and like and be and just chill for a
Yes.
bit.
Yeah, because you have to pour into yourself and give from a full cup rather
Yeah.
than from an empty cup. Otherwise,
Mhm.
the things that we want to pour into for other people or other projects, they're coming from a place of lack, which
Yeah.
could potentially lead to burnout or resentment or
Mhm.
frustrations. And when the cup is overflowing, it's like, everything's easy, all is well, because I'm
Yeah.
good. So y'all will be good.
Yeah. I was feeling that hardcore yesterday. I was like, I need to work on this project. But or that I felt a sense of obligation to do that
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
meet a goal that I set for myself. So it's flexible. But yeah, I was so tired. And so I beat myself up a little bit and I was like, no, I don't want to go into it like from this energetic state.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want like maybe I'll just like when he goes for a nap, I'll take my bath and just chill out.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
absolutely.
love
I
that. Pay
love it.
close attention to your dream.
Yes, and let your dreams show you the way. And I also really love the line of embody the love that you feel
Yes.
inside, embody your inner peace, especially right now with the Taurus full moon, just being really like
Mm.
grounding, very much like illuminating what no longer serves us. And I'm pretty sure Pluto is going into Aquarius or something
Yeah,
is
I think so.
happening.
For like 20
Um
years or something.
yeah, so here we go. Buckle
Yeah.
up.
I heard on the 19th things are about to get real good for me,
Yeah.
according to one of my readers. I have a Taurus stellium. And so I'm like, I'm feeling some stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like things are happening. And I'm also positive that Saturn just is going direct. And Saturn is
Mm,
like the karmic planet too. And one of the questions that like came up was to journal about was like, okay, what have I like let go of that no longer serves me? Or what am I holding on to that is no longer my obligation or my
mm,
responsibility? That has been a big thing. So I really love the reminder to
I like
embody
that.
that inner peace and that
Yeah.
that love. The
Making that.
third one, that second card, because I have
Yeah.
two other ones that come up, is this one's a solar plexus. I
Mm.
love that
I
color.
like that there's different colors.
Yeah, they're all supposed to be resonant and connected to the
Hmm.
different chakras
Okay.
in your body. And so sometimes with these cards, what I'll do too is I'll leave them out after a reading. And honestly, I love healing. I love spirituality
I'm
because it
sure.
could be whatever.
It's okay. This darn thing that I have for my my chiropractor told me to get it and rest my hand on it or something, but
She said, not today.
yeah, it's not working.
She went.
She said, put it over here.
I love it. But no, I just love healing because it it can be whatever you want to be. Like, I think that was something when I came into card reading was like, I have to do it a specific way, like everybody
Mm.
else.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as I cleanse the space before and after, I've realized I can meditate with the cards
Mm.
and really align them with the chakra as well, so I can like visualize the energy going to the card and to myself, which I really love. But this card is lyrics. So we have to
Ooh.
pay close attention to our dreams and pay close attention to the angelic messages you hear in songs.
Wow.
Your loved ones are communicating with you through music.
Wow.
Listen for their signs. Remember to use music to uplift your energy. Also, these cards, the actual cards, are really beautiful.
Wow. I love
Pretty.
it. Lyrics.
Yeah, lyrics. And I do feel like once you listen for the signs, you see the signs, you see them in movies, in books,
Mm-hmm.
in lyrics, in like sayings that pop up in our heads. So really a lot of energy of like, uplifting our energy, but also paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
is really fun. And then the final card that was on the bottom of the deck is 333,
Oh.
which I love 333. Ask your ancestors, angels, and spirit guides for their support. More study is needed now. Be patient as you go within to hear their answers. Allow their wisdom to flow through you. So, this whole collective reading is very much going inward, paying attention, and knowing that your ancestors, angels, and spirit guides are all here and wanting to
Mm.
support. There's study that's needed, some sort of like analyzing of what is being said to us, either in our dreams or through the music, through dancing, or as we're meditating. That study, whatever is being illuminated, is for a reason for us to kind of make that next right
Mm-hmm.
step to this new phase, because as the full moon comes, it ends and begins a whole new cycle. So, ah, I love that. That's a great reading. That's
Beautiful. No, I
fantastic.
love it. So, do you have any full moon rituals that you do?
I do. So I like to put out all of my
Oh,
crystals
yeah, that's a good
and
reminder.
cards. Yeah, I put them all out. My mom puts them out on her balcony, like
Yeah.
on plates and stuff, but I don't have that. I'm afraid that someone might
We'll
come
take
and
them.
take my crystals, which at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, maybe that was the end. Thank you, crystals. Like, thanks for giving me
That reminds me of a
so
funny joke. A friend, a friend of mine was getting arrested, and he had a couple crystals in his pocket or something, and he was like, "I thought this was supposed to protect me from negative
dang it.
energy."
my partner, he calls them my stoning stones because he hears them jiggle in my pants. And he's like, those are painful if you're not careful.
That is so funny.
Like, yeah, they're my stoning stones. I mean, look at this one. This one's literally like you sit on that wrong.
Yeah. Suddenly
So
becomes
I
some
think
kind of sex toy.
yeah, we can all get creative here. Anything
Yeah.
could be a sex toy if we really look
No.
at it.
I know, man, dude. Boudreaux was like chomping on some rocks the other day, and I was like, "You are like your mom. You
Yeah.
are like your mom." Can't
The
blame you.
apple.
Yeah, just don't swallow one of those fuckers.
Yeah, I'll shove my hand down
I
real
did.
quick.
Oh God, I was like, "No, we're not today. No trip to the vet today." Like that one's a little small.
Oh
So I
my
got him a
god.
big one and I put it in his crate.
Oh
So
my
that
god.
I was like, there you go, you can't swallow
There
that
you
one.
go. That's like the chicken from Moana when he's the like always eating the rocks. I love that. That is so funny. um but other full moon rituals, I think the biggest one is just recharging.
Yeah.
I like to take full moon baths as
Mm-hmm.
well and like really call upon the energy of the moon itself
Mm.
to smooth out my energy and
Mm.
illuminate what I need. And I also call upon Mama Gaia's abundant waters. And then I add like little essential oils and things.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my biggest ones. I want to make full moon water, but I really have just not done it.
Yeah.
Some people do it, but I really have not felt called
Yeah, I
to
think I've
make
only
it.
done it once,
Yeah.
a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the last few full moons, I've totally forgotten to charge anything, do anything.
Just like here we are.
Yeah, like the next day, I'm like, well, I guess there's the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I also feel like we really feel like the energy of it on the day before and the day
Yes.
after too. So sometimes if I forget that there's a full moon or a new moon, the next day I'll be like, okay, this is my new moon now. Like,
You
I'll
know,
set my
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like people do drive crazier on the full moon. And my dad used to say like that they drove crazier on the full moon.
Yeah,
People
yes.
acting a fool.
On that full moon, exactly. My mom will also say like not to, she purposely won't go out on the full moon, or
Mm. Oh yeah, I
if
don't
there
think I
is a
will.
full moon, yeah, like just being careful or not being out too late, because it is that kind of werewolf energy, and I think that comes from people navigating through the
Mm.
universe unaware, like not yeah, unaware from what they're experiencing. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like the healing and the messages and the energy is affecting everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but not everyone understands or has the clarity of what that necessarily
Yeah.
is. And so that's where I think a lot of that chaotic like energy can come from, is
Mm-hmm.
because all of this stuff is moving around and some people don't really know what it is or what to do with it because they didn't feel called to it, or
Mm-hmm.
they may not even know that it
Mm-hmm.
could exist because of any other background. Like some people, they grow up and they're not they take the kind of projections of their family and feeling like, there's only one path and
Mm-hmm.
there's only one way of being, and that could really lead to a whole myriad of things, because just because
Mm-hmm.
you don't believe in it doesn't necessarily mean that things are
It
not
can't be
affecting
true.
us.
Oh,
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
yeah. uh what
Yeah.
about you? Do you have any full moon energy like things?
Occasionally the crystals, and I will put them on a
Hmm.
plate out here because I have like a little yard.
Yeah.
I feel safe.
Right.
But sometimes I do get paranoid with certain things. Like all the doors are locked for sure.
Yeah.
um, yeah. And then sometimes I'll journal or I'll do some journal prompts.
Mm,
But I don't know if that's like anything like out of my typical, routine or regimen.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Sometimes like I'll journal in the morning, sometimes I'll journal in the evening. Or
Yeah.
if like I just feel like a little heightened anxiety, sometimes I just need to get something out on the page. And like even just like
Yes.
acknowledging it and writing it down, just like there's so much release there. And it's like takes it
Yeah.
from like swirling just a little more clarity around it. I like to
Yeah.
pull oracle cards, but I like to do those every day. I don't do them
Yeah.
every day, but I like to do them a lot. I just got a new
Yeah.
deck too, by I think it's a Kyle Gray deck.
Ah,
And then yeah, a bath occasionally, but I wrote down whenever you were talking about oils, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm out of Epsom salts because I took my bath
yeah.
last night and
Ah,
used the last one. I was like,
yeah.
empty the bag. I'm like,
Like
cleanse
we need
my spirit.
we
Yeah.
need this.
I saw something that was like, Taurus, you might be heightened or affected. I was like, a freaking 3 and 3 planets in Taurus. I'm like, oh,
Three,
and
three, three.
yes, 3 planet. I think in Taurus and Capricorn.
Ah,
Um, yeah, and then yeah, I think that's about it. But I feel like sometimes I do think about letting go more for full moon, intention setting for new moon,
yeah.
um, that sort of thing. Um, yeah, and I totally didn't have any awareness of this like growing up. It was definitely, yeah, this wasn't on my radar for sure.
No, no, not at all. And I think it's so fun to like meet different people as we
Hmm.
navigate through life, and seeing how at some point or other, the people that I have come into contact with, they are like, "Oh yeah, I had no idea. I just was bumping along one day and then I read either like The Secret or
Right.
I did this or I met someone, and every
Yeah.
single person that you meet like also deepens the wisdom as well, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is just like so special too. But yeah, The Secret was like the first book that I ever read.
Ooh, when'd you read
Uh,
it?
I read it in, I think my mom had me read it when I was in high school.
Dude, same. Like and I knew I'm like whenever we met at a friend's wedding this past July, just for
Yeah.
context. And then yeah, I just loved your wisdom and the language, the way you worded things. It's like, girl, you gotta come on.
Yeah.
So your mom had this spiritual new age-ish flair,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, she did.
I
She
don't know
for
if it's
sure
called new
did.
age anymore, but
I know. I mean,
yeah.
I resonate with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was I like to say she was the first person to teach me how to manifest,
Mm.
and really laid down the foundation of like the thoughts that we think and the things that we say create and are physically manifested in our
Mm-hmm.
lives. And as a kid, I think about that, like think back on when I was a little kid. I was manifesting things at the drop of the hat because we're young and we're fearless. We're
Mm.
just so ready to experience our light and love, and because everything is new. And I think about now, sometimes it can be hard for me to manifest things, and I ask myself why, like what is blocking me
Mm.
from physically creating this into 3D, into this realm. And a lot of the times it's like my own doing, it's my own fear or my own insecurity, or sometimes it's not even anything that has to do with me. It's something that I've been carrying, like a philosophy or a lack feeling or thought
Mm-hmm.
that I took on and carried from navigating through high school or college or trying to fit in with society. And what I've really loved about like reading the Four Agreements
I
now,
love that book.
and I'm also reading The Mountain Is You right now.
Ooh.
And that one is really dives deep into like self-sabotaging, like how we can
Mm.
self-sabotage, but we are also the key, and letting go of like the things that we have been holding on to that have nothing to do with us anymore. Yeah. So that is one thing that I've really enjoyed, kind of continuing to grow from like the little high school, middle
For
school me
sure.
who was like, yeah, I can just manifest whatever I want. Like,
Yeah, there's been times in my life where it's definitely come with a lot of ease, or I'll say something, I'm like, oh shit.
yeah,
Definitely like abracadabra words or spells.
yeah,
That's why I'm pretty careful about the language that I use, although sometimes you know, definitely can get it like a little streak. But or I was thinking as you're talking about like why hasn't something shown up lately? I've been focusing on a lot of like financial abundance, and I think
mm,
maybe it's like a lot of the attachment or awareness that it isn't here yet. I just need to lean into like it's already here.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
like the energy I need to feel.
yeah,
um,
yes. Oh, I
hmm
love
But and
that.
then also I'm like, and then I wrote down sometimes being around other people that are negative. like I'm like, "Oh, I've got to be a little more discerning."
Yes, it's so true. And as we like were going through high school, like and through every chapter of our lives, we learned how to use our discernment and stand up for ourselves and have those boundaries. And I think about high school a lot because there was a lot of bending that I did to bend myself
Mm,
into knots to make myself accepted,
mm,
quote unquote,
mm-hmm.
by others, and receive outward validation. And recently, the clearest clarity that I've ever received is just that is nothing. That means absolutely nothing. It only weighs us down. The most freeing feeling is receiving the self-love and the
For
self-validation.
sure. For
And
sure. You got to
when
start
we're,
there.
yeah, we have to. And when we're aligned with that, we can absolutely make anything happen, because then we're like,
Mm,
oh, the only opinion that matters is mine. The only thing that matters is if I'm happy, and then the rest will follow. Like
yeah.
there's
And your people
something
will
to that.
find you, like the people around you, it'll like maybe shapeshift a little bit.
Yeah,
But like the
yes.
people, there might be some like falling off, and I remember feeling that that was harder for me growing, at least like because I would like have attachment to like past stories or past memories.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, we've experienced so much life together, but that doesn't always dictate that we're going to spend a lot of life together in the future.
Yeah.
Um, and you
Mm,
mentioned like self sabotage too, and that's definitely I feel like I've definitely done that in like a myriad of different ways.
mm,
And I read one the other day. I'm like, oh, that one lands for me in this season. About like self sabotaging in ways where you're like dimming your light or
mm.
not showing up in your fullest capacity because of what others may think or you know what I mean, like not
Yes.
or for the sake of humbleness or something too. I was like,
Mm.
ooh.
For the sake of humbleness too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like dimming, because I have like experienced dimming my light to, make other people
Or keep the
comfortable,
peace. Yeah.
keep the peace, but dimming your light for the sake of humbleness, when like that makes me think of like, okay, well, what is being humble?
Mm-hmm.
And like, what if my version of humble is taking it to the extreme where my own light can't shine as bright? Then is that humble, or is that something deeper? Is that
Yeah.
something else?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh wait,
Oh,
what's going on here? My little notification pop up. Go away.
go away. And I love that too about light, and really experience the visualization of light and us as light. And that for me has been one of the biggest things of like diving deep into my own darkness and my
Mm.
own shadow self, and really accepting those dark parts of myself, and kind of understanding like, oh, in order for me to be the light that I want to be, I have to go into the darkness. Like it has to be
Mm-hmm.
dark. Otherwise, how will I illuminate myself, and how will I even be able to heal those parts of myself if I don't
Mm-hmm.
go in and with full like unconditional love and trust that
Yeah.
I have myself, we're okay, and we will heal and grow no matter what it
Mm-hmm.
is, and we
Mm-hmm.
can accept ourselves as we are. That's
Because I've
another
got you.
theme. Yeah, I've got
Mm-hmm.
you. Yes. And that's another theme from The Mountain Is You, is
Mm.
accepting yourself as you are now, and letting go of the expectations that we created of what our life should look like when we were
Mm-hmm.
young,
Mm-hmm.
and letting that go. Because if I'm not living the life that I thought I would live when I was 6, or when I was 16 or 26, it's like, if holding on to that, it makes me feel like everything that I'm doing is not enough.
Mm. Mm.
But when letting go of that, it's like, no, it's okay. Thank you so much for this beautiful dream. Thank you. But the life that I'm living right now is not only more than enough, it's exactly where I need to be.
Yeah, and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I did an exercise yesterday in like a mastermind group where we kind of went in a little bit to our shadows and voiced like we did a stream of conscious voicing for 1 minute on our fears, on our what we felt obligated to, and then on our desires.
Ooh,
It's interesting because some of them like parlay or like connect to one another. Um, yeah, I thought that was pretty powerful too.
yeah,
Like good shadow
absolutely.
work.
Yeah, we
This book
need
sounds
it.
great though.
Yeah, no, it's a great book. It's fantastic. I
Yeah.
always feel like, healing, and this is funny, just going back to my mom being my first
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
teacher. She always says now that like she wishes that in public education or schooling that there would be like mindfulness kind of
For
teachings and
sure.
mindfulness practices, because as young kids we all have these emotions, we have big feelings, we're navigating life, and it's equally as important to have these tools, just like having tools to harness a skill. Being a writer or director or a chef, you go to these schools and you harness, and you practice to make the master. Practice makes the
Mm-hmm.
master. And the same goes for our healing. It's just as important, and you need those tools too. And
Mm. So
and
true.
and like I also feel like when we're healing on our healing journey, it's not only a practice that will make us the master, it's also one of those journeys that we have to celebrate our wins ourselves, because it's not like, oh, I've I've re I've reprogrammed my neural pathway, so I no longer I can experience life abundantly. Like no one is celebrating that. There's not like a graduation ceremony for that. And
Mm-hmm.
so finding those moments to really experience those wins are really important too, because it can be hard out here trying to heal,
For
but
sure. No, and
so beautiful.
yeah, I'm like, add that to a gratitude list.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'll
yeah.
write down my wins, or like I have this
Yeah.
little journal. And it's like, so sometimes it's like something a challenge I'm facing today, or something
Mm.
I don't know. Sometimes I'll mark it out, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I am celebrating. I'm
Yes,
not
I'm
starting my day with
celebrating.
this challenge,
Yes,
or the
absolutely.
focus on it. Yeah, no, that's true too. I believe like about harnessing the skill, because I
Mm,
think like shoot, I think a lot of my drinking or earlier drug use was probably because I did
mm.
feel so much. And I think that
Yeah,
what a beautiful skill to have and harness is like emotional depth and
yeah,
EQ,
mm,
um, at a younger age, or like
yeah,
mindfulness practices. That would
absolutely.
have helped.
Yes, I know. I feel that because we're all just like drinking and
Yeah.
smoking and like self-medicating in a way that was not helping us. It was
Mm-hmm.
harming us. Or it was just kind of giving us what we needed to survive in that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, I like looking at it with that
Um,
lens too. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, like I needed this for that time. And just partying all the time and doing those things because I felt like, oh, I needed to do this. This is what I should be doing.
mm-hmm.
When in the background there was a lot of like family dynamics that I was dealing with, and a lot of things that I was experiencing, the loss of a childhood and
Mm-hmm.
experiencing the like feeling of, I'm stressed being in high school because I want to be accepted, and I have teachers here that are sometimes making me feel like, their tactic to try to push me the intention might be to help me grow, but the impact is making me feel like I'm not enough for
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that surrounds like how sometimes it was hard for me to even love the craft and love. I went to a performing and visual arts high school, and
Oh,
so
cool.
it was really great. And the students that went to that school are phenomenally talented, and they are amazing. And it's been hard sometimes like wanting to go back into the creative industry or being a performer, because sometimes that little self in my brain will be like, well, you weren't enough at that point, so what makes you think that now you'd
Mm-hmm.
be okay? And it's like, no, we're okay. We were more than enough then. Just because we were partying and just because we didn't fit the mold or the idea of what that teacher or what was
Mm-hmm.
needed at that time doesn't mean that we were insignificant at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm, beautiful.
Mm.
So creative, like, did you have a particular, like, one that you focused on then, or?
Yeah, so I started with musical theater. So I
Mm.
started as a performer.
Oh.
And like when I was 6, I was like, I'm gonna win an Oscar. And I used to tell my mom if she was made me mad that I wouldn't thank her in my acceptance speech. Like, so that's where I got my start. And then I went to university and I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts in musical
Okay.
theater as well. But through my university, that's where I kind of developed the love for writing, and I
Mm.
started writing. And then I also developed my love I mean, I've always loved traveling, but I studied abroad while I
Mm-hmm.
was going through there, and went to Italy, and absolutely just was like, okay, my life is not going to be what I thought it was going to be. I want to create art with people.
Yeah.
I want to write art. I want to be in art. I want to just be a part of everything. And then I moved to New York, and that's when I got into event producing. And that's actually where I
Mm.
met, where everything kind
Oh,
of came
cool.
into place, where I met you, like honestly, where I met Teresa, and that's how we all have been able to meet now.
That's cool.
And that like the kind of re-ingrained the love of being on the creative and like the production side of things. I really like seeing how people can operate and what their talents are, and I want to connect everybody and
Mm.
create whatever they want to create. Um,
Mm.
that's kind of what I've come into
Ooh, good to know.
knowing.
Yeah, no, I was
Yeah.
chatting with someone, I think Marie, maybe about having like a festival somewhere.
Oh,
Or was it you?
yeah.
Like, no, I mean, somewhere we're talking about having like all different kinds of like outlets.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's good to know someone in the event space or event realm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I was thinking, I took a step back. I was still doing some like acting or modeling on the side. And
Mm.
just last night, I was like, you know what? I'm like, should I get just email her if I need some new headshots? I'm like, put Boudreaux to work too.
Yeah, yeah, you look. I mean,
Give me an earn that
he's such a
kibble.
cutie. Get those paychecks.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, like I did think about getting some like little doggy glasses and like having him read my book and other books and like making like a book talk account for him or
I
something.
love
I was like, that could
that.
be funny.
Yes.
Once he's a little more settled down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but I
Love
know speaking, I want to circle back to surrender too.
it.
Because he's been a big lesson on that, like, or
Mm,
exactly how much of my schedule or like me scheduling myself was in a way like different, a control aspect.
mhm,
And so he's helping my writing as far as taking more breaks because I typically write now when he's sleeping.
mm.
And it's just like, just it through when I first I was like, oh, I'm gonna have so much, I'm gonna write this day and meet my deadline or goal by this day, and I'm like, that was
Yeah.
out the window. I'm like, nope, I'm being called to be super present with you right
Yeah.
here, right now.
I love that.
um, yeah, no, and he's been a spiritual lesson and mirror in a lot of different ways. Like even I noticed the other day that I was feeling like a little frustrated and like,
Mm.
and he was like more chewy and stuff. And then after I
Yeah.
took a calming bath and came out more grounded, like his energy was more calm, and we just curled up and watched Netflix. And I was like,
Oh,
okay, I see you, boy.
yeah. Yeah. You're like, okay,
Okay, this
thank
is the
you.
state that. But
I love that.
Um, or then like, yeah, what are your thoughts on like surrendering or surrendering? What does
Mm,
it look like?
yeah, it's definitely something that I thought I was doing. And now in this season of my life, I'm like, oh, this is what surrendering is? Okay.
Yeah.
I, like, I used to write in my journals and I go back and I see them. I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, yeah, surrender. I surrender. And now I'm like, oh shit, this is surrendering. Like my whole life is completely different. Like
Oh
it
wow.
it really, because I moved here to Pittsburgh through just like I left my previous job and was really open. I was like, what's our next best step? And my partner got an opportunity out here and we were like, okay, let's just go.
Hmm.
And that has kind of shifted so many different things in my life because it's my first time in a new city that I've never once been
Mm.
to. And I don't know anyone here. I was really blessed to move to New York with a community already there.
Mm-hmm.
I was blessed I mean, I moved to Italy, but like you're in a university and there's international student networks, so there's like an actual place that can help
Mm-hmm.
funnel those relationships. So this moving here to Pittsburgh has been like the biggest surrender in
Mm.
letting go of like the need to control
Mm.
and really letting go of trying to make things like I'm currently my day job is what I've been calling it is like not necessarily completely aligned with what I authentically want out of
Mm-hmm.
my life. And I feel like at the same time, I need to be where I am right now so that I
Mm-hmm.
can really let go into, okay, what am I holding on to that's keeping me from
Mm-hmm.
this? And really knowing that, okay, it doesn't look right. It doesn't quote unquote right. It doesn't feel 100%, but I'm trusting that every
Mm-hmm.
moment is getting me to the next
Yeah,
right
it's
step.
something. It's like leading you to the next step. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
trust
Mm-hmm.
that and believe. in
Yes.
different aspects. I've had that shown to me in some ways. Like I had
Mm.
a job one time. Yeah, I just like kind of like thought it was just like an easy, kind of like chill, like kind of wrote it off a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is when I first moved to Austin, I think in 2015. But I still showed up, did my best, like
Yeah.
what I was gonna made the little money that they gave me.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 2 years after that I was applying for like something in the same like field marketing space,
Mm.
but more down the manager side.
Mm.
And someone that ended up interviewing me, I was on the like guerrilla team with. And so
Oh,
they like, if had I not like done my best in that situation and position, she probably wouldn't have hired me to be a
right.
manager. And like it was
Right.
such a cool experience too. Um, and so yeah, I did see. I was like, it's like a good frame of reference. Like, okay, every step leads to the next, and if I treat it like that, then it definitely will.
Yes.
And I think it goes back to that accepting too, like an accepting
Hmm.
of the present moment and
Yeah.
trusting, and then um, and feeling that in the future, or that what you want in the future now. I think that there's like a combination or like a cauldron of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all interconnected. And something that you said about accepting the present moment has been something that I've really leaned into. When I think of surrender, I think of the present because oftentimes I could find myself half living, either living in the
Mm-hmm.
past or living in the
Mm-hmm.
future. And when I surrender to, just the present moment, everything else falls away
Mm-hmm.
and the what ifs of the future fall away and clear like there's just clear my vision. And when I'm in the present moment too and surrender to that, everything that has happened in the past also falls away. And the not I don't want to necessarily equate them to shackles, but because I really am proud and grateful of where I've been.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I think too much living in that
Mm-hmm.
can weigh us down.
Mm-hmm.
And so really like surrendering to, I am here right now in this moment, and
Mm-hmm.
what is happening now is laying the foundation for the future, and we'll get there. But be here, be right here,
Mm-hmm.
and learn and see what's happening. And gratitude has really helped me lean into, because surrendering can sometimes feel like everything is falling apart. And it's a complete tower moment, and you're like, oh my God, what's happening? And I think gratitude really is a beautiful way to remind ourselves that it's all falling into
Mm-hmm.
place and look at these beautiful little moments that we have to be grateful for
Mm-hmm.
that mean more than the what if of the future or what could have been in the past.
Yeah. I feel like whatever we focus on is amplified. And I know like
Mm.
and sometimes it's a more of a battle than and sometimes it flows or is easier about okay, like
Yeah.
where am I putting my attention and focus? If it's on
Mm.
like lack or what is not here, then that feels more amplified. But if I focus it on the gratitude things, that's gonna be amplified. So
Yes.
that needs to be my default.
Yeah. This is what we have to get
Yeah, yeah.
to.
I'm like noted. I'm like, okay. Like I keep a running tab in my phone.
Yeah.
Um, and so, but I have like, oh, okay. For being the 14th, I need to have more than three than three entries, 3 days of entries because it's like a little scrapbook too. And so I'll
Yeah.
just like, okay, put the date, the month, and the year, and
Oh,
then
I love
just different
that.
things that I'm grateful for, different people, different experiences. Um, and also some of it's like celebrations, like it's like, oh, I'm grateful for progress on this.
Yeah.
um yeah, and so
Uh,
I feel like that helps too, and just like having it easily accessible. I like to write it and like feel it too, but I
right.
like having it just as like an easy reminder because I'm looking at my phone so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I noticed that when I first met you at our friend's wedding,
Oh,
when you would hear something and you go, "Oh, I have to write that down."
oh,
And
I do.
I
Oh yeah.
really, I felt inspired by that. I was like, "I'm going to do that," and I actually
Dude,
started
oh
doing that
good.
now.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Yeah, no, I have a life inspo one too. I think you
I
said a
love
lot of things that went on there. I know for
it.
sure we were talking about like the ands of life. Because like,
Yes, the
you know,
ands of
where we
life.
thought, yeah, if we, oh, it's gonna be this or this. I'm like, no, can it be both?
It
Can we
can.
entertain the?
Ugh,
Yes.
I love
Let's
that.
see. What was that? July.
Yeah, that was July, which feels like 1,000 years ago.
Oh yeah. It just says like pushing into pool scene because we were talking about. Yeah, I put down the ends of life.
Yeah. Ugh, I love
uh,
that.
I love it.
Ands of life. That was something that I came into. I felt really called like a couple years ago to make a video, and I put it on Instagram, and I was talking about, we really have to lean into the ands of life, and we can be happy and sad. We can be grateful and
Mm-hmm.
frustrated. We can be angry and grateful, like that. Some anger, really leaning into anger, and understanding that there is a double-edged sword of both. There's a double-edged sword of fear and love and hope and peace and everything else. And I made this whole video about it, and then the auto closed captioning changed it to ants, ANTS
No.
of life. And all my friends were like, that was such a beautiful video, but like we couldn't take it seriously because it's just ants of life. I'm like,
No.
yeah, ants of life. Ants are pretty great. You could learn a lot from ants. They live in community. They
Diligence. Worship a
but
queen.
yeah, they worship a queen. Exactly, exactly. But yeah, no, ends of life for sure. And surrendering, and we have the moments of control where we have to control ourselves and our thoughts.
True.
And there are moments where we can't, and that's okay. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily make us a failure, quote unquote. It doesn't make us any doesn't take us backwards. Like nothing is ever taking us backwards. It's always taking us forward, even if we feel really heavy, or we're experiencing a great loss and navigating grief, or if we're experiencing a transition where literally everything that we thought we would be doing is not what we're doing at all.
It sounds like it could be like great inspiration or things to write about or write
Yeah.
about too.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I think is like the tools, finding those tools to, I've been getting back into writing every day,
Mm,
and writing what I think and what I feel. And for some people that might look like, writing a song every day, or something
mm,
else. And so I think having those tools to help us is like the best, is one of the best things. And I know for a fact that my whole life is just going to be like, picking up different tools, letting go of certain
for
tools. Because
sure.
at some point, our tool belts, we gotta get a different tool
For
belt. We
sure.
have.
No, absolutely. No, I used to be a way more strict or like, if I don't do my,
Yeah.
early meditation and then this and then this, like at first, like the routine and rituals, like it felt so very supportive.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, I need more like fluidity and like, what do I
Yeah.
need in this moment versus just like, okay, it's going to be this, and this. And like, am I really
Yep.
wanting to do those things or am I really just wanting to cross them off a list?
Yes.
Which is good too,
Yeah.
but it's like, they
Yeah.
shift. And I love too that you mentioned something earlier about like fear and love, and I'd love to
Mm.
expand on that a little bit,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
about experiencing both maybe at the same time,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. I think for me, one of my biggest philosophies is that the opposite of fear is love. And so
mm,
whenever I'm experiencing fear, I do my best to practice asking myself like what is beyond that fear.
mm,
I really do believe that this double-edged sword, it's like if there is fear, that means that there is love in that space. And so if
mm,
I'm afraid of taking an action step to my next, to starting a business, or leaving a business, or leaving a relationship, or leaving a city, or whatever that is, the really feeling that fear. And that's like a big part of it, is like we have to feel the fear. There's like a saying, like, feel the fear and do it anyway.
mm-hmm,
And I like that, and I like to expand that. we feel the fear, and then that fear can, create a phoenix version of love. I really do think
Mm-hmm.
that it comes from this sense of like lack of control, or like a false sense of control, because if we're like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, like, well, we're never going to know what's going to happen. It could be, what if it doesn't work out, but what if it does?
Yeah.
And so I really like to, not judge myself for being fearful, really validate that, it's okay. We're doing something we've never done before. Just because other people have done it, we've never done it. It's
Mm-hmm.
all good. And then really align myself with the love that is there, but not in a sense of like I am loving to silence. I'm loving through the fear.
Yeah, for sure. No, I
Mhm.
definitely I have like this thing. I'm like, I gotta feel the fear, acknowledge it. For
Yeah.
me, it shows me where I'm invested in something.
Mm.
Or like in some ways, I'm like follow those. I'm like, okay, what's on the other side of that for me? One of my biggest fears is motherhood, but I'm like now, I feel like I'm in it, and I totally used to like shy away. I'm like or eye roll at people calling themselves dog moms a little bit,
Yeah.
but only because I'm like, oh, it's not a human. But then now I'm like, no, you're a dog mom. I know
It's
a
still
dog.
a being.
Oh,
It's
it
still a
is. Oh no, I totally take it back. I didn't know how much work went into that. I'm like, I'm like, I take it back.
You're
You're a
like,
dog
I'm
mom.
sorry.
Yeah, but I'm just like owning it. Um, but yeah, and then I read Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to
Mm.
Love, and she talks
Oh.
about how like everything that isn't fear is, or like looking at fear as a call for more love. And like when
Oh,
or like
love
if we're
that.
feeling that kind of fear sensation, or if someone's acting in fear, they're really calling for love.
Hmm.
Um, and so, or yeah, I think like the opposite of fear is love. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I found that thought while I was reading the Four Agreements,
Mm.
and really thinking about like being impeccable with my word and being lost in the like mitote is what he called it, the market of a thousand voices. And I really was like, when I was reading that book, I was like, yep, that's exactly how I would describe where I'm at right now in my life. Like I am just in this market of a thousand voices. And I really like what you said about the fear kind of illuminating where you're invested, or illuminating where love is being called for. And that, I really just think it just kind of cements that, fear, just like grief is love, I do believe that fear is love
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
It's just like the opposite side of it.
Mm.
Because so many times, like, we feel fear and we're like, we either, it keeps us from doing something. But I think making that switch of that perspective of like, oh, I'm experiencing this fear because I'm being called for love, that is really can
Yeah,
make a whole shift dynamic. Yeah.
that, and then like I definitely register sometimes my anxiety as a fear popping up, or connect
Mm,
those two. And so now I'm
yeah.
like, okay, when I'm feeling that anxiousness, which goes back, like I had an aha moment like a month or two ago, or maybe I don't know when, but I was like lying on there and taking a microdose, but it ended up being like a little more than a microdose.
Yeah.
and and
Happens to the best
yeah,
of
and
us.
I was like, and I was like, I had this thing. I was like, oh, to accept all of me, and kind of goes like accepting the darkness or the shadowy parts. Like I gotta love my anxiety too, and I'm like,
Yeah, yes.
ah.
Yes, we
Yeah,
gotta.
yeah. And then I get
'Cause-
to, and then I like reframe. I'm like, okay, I get to actually have this experience, and then,
yeah.
but yeah. So, but asking myself when I feel that, um, how can I show myself more love in that moment? So maybe it is
Yeah.
like taking my little bath and dumping all the Epsom
Yes,
salt,
exactly. And
or
asking
just being
ourselves
more
like,
tender. Yes.
yeah, being more tender, and like asking ourselves like, what do I need right now?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something too, that conflict arises from lack of needs. Like
Mm.
whenever we are experiencing conflict with people or within ourselves, it's because needs are not being met.
Mm.
And when fear pops up, it can kind of be that illuminating thing of like, this is not what I'm getting. I'm not getting this. And then
Mm.
we get to, how beautiful that it is that we get to give ourselves what we need.
Mm-hmm.
We not
True.
only like tell ourselves what we need, we then get to give ourselves what we need. And we also get to practice figuring out what that is for the rest of our lives.
Which is beautiful. beautiful.
Yeah, just it's so beautiful, so
Gotta
beautiful.
remind myself the
Yes,
odds
yeah.
that I'm here.
Yes, exactly. It's like, you're so great.
Spinning on this little ball in this.
Yeah. Oh, we forget that we're floating. I just saw Casey Musgraves on
Oh,
Sunday.
cool.
Oh my God, that was probably one of the coolest experiences as an adult, like experiencing music. And two things I'm remembering is that she at one point was like, I'm just so grateful that we all get to experience this life and we're all in this room together because you know what? We're all just floating on a rock together. And I was like, yeah,
We
we
are.
are. We are all floating on a rock, and how incredible is it that we like there are moments, there are things in life like music and in the arts and movies and songs. And that's why I love festivals, because it's just all of the outcasts and the people of every shape and size and colors all come together and are experiencing life together. And the concert itself, I went in with the intention of, I went by myself. So, and I was a
Oh.
little afraid. I was like, talk about fear. I was a bit nervous and afraid to like go on my own, and never really like knew what to expect. And
Go you.
yeah, thank you. I feel really proud
Yeah,
of
that's
myself.
good.
And I took some gummies. I took some little gummies, and I was like, it's gonna be a great time. It'll be a jam. And it was one of the most like healing experiences,
Mm.
because I think it was my intention and her intention, because she just was like setting this intention for everyone to come and be authentically themselves, to
Mm.
feel safe and heal through the music.
Mm.
And I love that. I think more artists should do that and set an intention for the entire space, because people really did. Everyone around me was just vibrating at such a
Mm.
loving level. There was one moment where a man in front of me asked me to sit down, and I was like, why?
In front of you, asked you
In
to
front
sit
of me. He asked me to sit down. And there's a version of myself that would have let that moment like
Mm-hmm.
really ruin my whole night. And I was so proud, because I was just like, I don't know if it was the weed or the music or whatever. It's probably a mixture of both, but I was just like, why? It's all good. That's what I said to him. I was just like, it's all good. And then I went back to the music. He never talked to me again. And it was just like, I just think that's so beautiful. Like, whenever we feel that fear and we feel nervous or we feel anxious, like the true, it sounds so simple, but it is literally love. Like, just kindness and
Mm-hmm.
love is
Mm-hmm.
just exactly what we need in order to like to still feel more like ourselves.
So true. And yeah, he's probably triggered by your happiness.
Literally, it was so
Go
funny too.
on, lick that wound.
I was like, it's all good, my guy. Like, because at one point when I asked him why, he was like, so the people behind you can see. And I had already talked with the girls behind me, and we were all jamming. And I literally was like, I can assure you, if I was sitting, they'd still be standing. Like, it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's like, are you with them? Why you have so much smack?
Yeah, like, it's all
It's interesting.
okay.
Do you listen to Queen Herbie?
No, I've never.
Oh, you're gonna love her. Oh,
Okay,
you're
Queen
gonna love
Herbie.
her.
Okay, I have to write it down.
Oh, yes. I'll send you some, and it's fine if you don't
Yes.
hear it. I love that.
Uh, I love that.
Yeah, no, I saw her at Emos in Austin. Like, wasn't it? I don't know, however long ago, 3 weeks,
Mm,
month, something.
yeah.
So awesome. Kind of like, yeah, that very intentional. And
Mm.
then she had everyone in there. She's like, all right, deep breath. And
Ah,
it's just so lovely.
I
And
love
you're
that.
going to totally vibe with her lyrics. It's very like
Yes.
manifestation oriented.
Mm.
Um, or like creatrix type of vibe. I love her.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
I'll send you
love
some
that.
that are great.
Yes.
Um,
Please do.
And then I
Uh,
know I totally would love if you're open. You mentioned something about doing a personal reading. So if you don't want to listen to my personal reading, bye. No.
yeah.
Yeah.
With gratitude and love.
Love you. Thank you for staying this long. Like, subscribe.
Yes, absolutely.
Kidding.
Do
Let's
you
do it on the podcast.
want these oracle cards? I also have I've also cleansed these beep beep these spirit animals. They're Colette Baron
Mm.
Reed spirit animal oracle cards. This is the book.
Oh, I want to do spirit animal. I feel like I got a
Yeah.
lot from the collective one.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And I feel like that gave us what we needed.
mhm.
Okay. All right, Kristen. I'm just gonna call. Is there a specific archangel or a spirit guide or anyone that you'd like me to specifically call in?
Well, I have my Sekhmet statue right here.
Love it.
Or Sekhmet Isis, Hathor.
Isis,
Um,
okay.
and then just, yeah, Isis, maybe.
Okay. All right. I call upon the spirit guides and spirit team of Kristen's highest vibration and highest good. I call upon Isis and her archangels that are aligned with her spiritual healing journey. Thank you for your clear and direct messages. What does she need to know right now? Oh my goodness.
Oh, the whole deck. No, I'm kidding.
They need everything. One clarifying card, please. What does Kristen need to know right now? Ooh.
Ooh,
This
okay.
is probably my favorite deck that I own. Oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. And I'll send you photos
Oh,
of this
cool.
too so that you can read cuz like each one has its own little
Okay.
thing. Oh my goodness, let me just readjust. Okay, so
Let's
the
see.
first card that popped up because I asked for one card and a clarifying card and then the bottom of the deck.
Okay.
The first card that popped up is this gorgeous little woodland realm owl spirit.
Aw.
Look at her little crown.
Aw.
And the bottom of her card says, "You see clearly now."
Mm.
And then the
Mm.
clarifying card that came out. Oh my God, I love this. I've never seen this card, is the lion spirit.
Ooh.
And
Fierce. Fierce,
she
fierce.
says, be generous with your spirit. Or be
Mm.
generous of spirit, excuse me. Be
Mm.
generous of spirit. Interesting. And then the bottom of the deck is this beautiful elephant spirit,
Mm. Mm.
which says, learn from the
Oh,
past.
wow.
Interesting that we were talking about the
We
past.
were. Yeah, interesting.
Um, so I'll read a little ditty about 43, 37, and 25. I like listening. I like
Oh,
looking
okay. Yeah.
at the
The
card
numbers.
numbers.
43, 27.
37
Oh,
and
wait.
then
43, 37,
and
25.
25.
Cool.
Mhm.
Let's add that
That
to a lotto ticket.
Yeah, literally. If you're listening, go for it.
Yeah.
Apparently, we see clearly now.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. The owl spirit arrives to remind you that the wisdom within you is informed by your keen senses and the wisdom within the consciousness we all share. Even in the darkest night, the owl sees clearly and is guided by every sense it has, including the first sense of intuition. Right now, your sensitivities are turbocharged and you are receiving messages from all directions, which aligns with our collective reading of messages are coming from all
They
sorts of
are.
places. Owl Spirit reminds you to be wise and pay attention to what's between the lines,
Mm,
what is invisible to the naked eye, what cannot be heard with the ears, and what others may not be able to perceive.
mm,
With all your senses aroused, you have much knowledge available to you. Clarity will come as you sit with all that you are sensing, allowing your intuition to guide you in understanding the whole and not just the parts. Let your wisdom arise and be your guide as you trust the acuity of all your senses.
Mm.
Intuition is real and can provide the clarity you need to understand your situation right now. Your relationship, your finances, your job, whatever it is, you can see the truth clearly now. Ooh. And I
Mm.
love that because owls are like the woodland realm protectors, which
Mm.
for of our earth and seeing what we cannot see. So like fairies and gnomes and
Mm.
I just think that there's something really beautiful about being called to sit in that and knowing that you have the senses to see what is beyond the 3D and
Mm-hmm.
see what may be like guiding you throughout your
Mm-hmm.
next step. So even if your mind can't see it yet, your heart and your intuition and your
Mm.
third eye absolutely knows and can sense that next
Mm.
right step.
Mm.
I love that. Love that. And then Lion Spirit 37, Aslan from Narnia. Um,
Ooh.
I love that. Be generous of spirit. A healthy ego means you ease God's order instead of edging God out.
Ooh.
Lion, I know that's a strong
Wait,
opening.
ease God's order?
a, a healthy ego means you ease God's order
Wow.
instead of edging God out.
Oh.
Which it's funny that I said Aslan because Aslan in Narnia is a like metaphorical god of Narnia, so um very interesting. Lion spirits appears Lion spirits appearance is a reminder that you have been given the gift of pride and a healthy sense of your worth to express your divine, authentic self in a unique way. That is so
Ooh.
powerful. You are both the king and the queen, secure in your prosperity and wisdom and generous of spirit. Oh, and
Mm.
generous of spirit as you help others.
Mm.
Take pride in your ability to serve from the heart.
Mm.
Contentment with what you have right now allows you to use
Mm.
your resources wisely as you give to others in ways that educate, heal, inspire, and delight.
Wow. Love that.
Love that. That's beautiful. Be proud yet humble, but not humble that you are dimming your light. Practice gratitude, and you will find that the
Ooh.
accolades that come to you are no match for the joy of knowing what you have been able to do for others through expressing the
Mm.
bounty of generosity within you.
Mm.
Lion Spirit knows there is a great savannah before you and many who will benefit from the
Mm.
healthy expression of your unique set of gifts if you choose to work in partnership with Spirit. All your relationships flourish as you express your worth and generosity of Spirit with humility and kindness. What a blessing you can be to
Wow.
all is the exclamation point.
Wow.
I love that. I think there's something really special because that was a clarifying card. And the first card that came out is really calling you to, really use your intuition, trust your intuition,
Trust, yeah.
allow yourself to experience what you cannot see, what you cannot
Mm-hmm.
hear. And this card, the clarifying card, is like, yeah, because by doing that, you're going to co create abundance with spirit. You'll know exactly what you need to do to foster in healing for yourself and for others, creating a community of people that
Mm.
just are all evolving together.
Mm.
And I really think it's lovely that it says like to be humble, but not
Mm-hmm.
not not there's nothing in this that is like dimming at all. this
No.
is
Mm-mm.
this is light, and like I feel like so much of just like loving energy of just abundance of
Love that.
contentment with what you have right
Yeah.
now allows you to use your resources wisely as you give to others in ways that educate, heal, inspire, and
I love
delight.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna need copies of these.
Yeah, I will
And
I will
photos.
send,
Yeah, I wrote that
send you
down.
all.
And it's just such a good reminder too.
Yeah,
Like the
like you
focus,
have
like,
everything you need.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And then the bottom of the deck is learn from the past. Let me go to her. Little elephant, which elephants are very intelligent creatures.
Good.
Every
Remember, you're
single
like an elephant.
yeah. And every single animal that has come to you for this reading are really intelligent creatures, like
Mm.
very intelligent. Owls are very resourceful and very keen, and lions are community based and really like very powerful in their leadership.
Mm.
And elephants are very grounding and nurturing and
Mm.
I mean, owls are more individual, like there's importance in that, but lions and elephants,
Definitely
they
are in there.
travel in packs.
Yeah.
um Although we often wish we could leave the past behind, elephant spirit reminds us that memory matters. We must respect the wisdom of the elders who hand down to us traditions that they have shaped to express our connection to each other and respect for the community. What has come before informs what we are experiencing today, and we must never forget our legacy of strength and dignity. Elephant Spirit appears with the message that we are to acknowledge that which came before and learn from it.
Mm.
All of us are memory based creatures, and we must revisit the past to understand where we are and where we are going. The stories of events you experienced, the stories in our collective memory, and the stories of relationships you have had can be told many ways. What story will you tell? Elephant Spirit is here to encourage you to make it one that stirs in you a sense of power and dignity, for you have honored yourself by choosing to learn from your past. Spirit rejoices at your willingness to learn and grow.
Mm. Snap, 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 snap.
I love that. I love that. And there's something really powerful. I said this previously, like sometimes practice this balance of not living too much in the past. And I
Mm-hmm.
think what's really powerful about that specific elephant spirit's guidance is that you're honoring the past and you're learning from the past.
Mm-hmm.
You're not living in the
Yeah.
past. You're just experiencing the memory of what was, and taking what you're being called to take and apply it to the life that you're trying to build
Yeah, for
now,
sure.
the projects that you're working on,
For
the
sure.
people that you're experiencing and healing and growing with. This
Mm-hmm.
is really
I love that sort
powerful.
of writing.
Yeah.
I told, yeah, I was chatting with someone. I was like, yeah, if you can write your old and live your new.
I love that. I never thought about
Yeah,
that.
taking the lessons, but yeah, but not living there, being super attached to it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Observing, not
Observe.
absorbing.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Observe, not absorb. That's a nice little affirmation. I
Mm,
can't take credit for that. That's from my girlfriend Rachel.
I love
She
that though.
she told me that, and it is probably one of my go-to affirmations throughout the
Mm,
day.
yeah. Oh, I could apply that to multiple situations.
Yeah. Observe, don't absorb.
Yeah.
Alliteration.
Oh, I know I had someone come on and she said that she had like a little, I don't know where she is on like the spectrum or scale of autism, but she's like, I don't know if it's like one of my traits that I love alliteration. I'm like, I do too, but I think I'm on that scale too. I haven't touched it too.
Yeah. We're all just on
Yeah.
this spectrum, living our beautiful lives.
Yes, I think that's what some of it. I'm like, okay, I think that may like the sense of witchiness or finding patterns or synchronicities or signs and stuff too. I'm like, what a gift. What a beautiful
Yes.
gift. Like my neural spiciness
Yes.
and
Yes,
sensitivity
absolutely.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Sensitivity to the energy around you
Yeah.
helps you discern where we would like to
Mm.
spend our time.
Mm.
And are we planting seeds in this space, or are we
Mm.
just passing through? It's
Ooh.
it's so true that energy, being sensitive to those things, I think it's more natural than what it may be atypical and what may be
Ooh.
perceived as normal.
Ooh.
And that's why, like, people who don't necessarily fit within that mold are the most creative and
Mm.
like intuitive beings, because they are operating in this sense of authenticity that is beyond our 3D
Mm.
realm. They're not
Mhm.
operating in what the projected society
Yeah, we're
rules are
told to
telling us.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
for sure. Yeah, like you're being told what to do and what to think from all different
Yeah.
angles a lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, we
yeah,
don't want any of
right? Yeah.
that. You're being called to march to the beat of your own drum
Yes.
and co-create with spirit. And I think that is something that everyone can absolutely take a page out of. And knowing that when we co-create and align ourselves with what we want to do, we are always going to be living in a state of abundance and peace and hope. And that sounds
Mm.
really like, can sometimes sound very like, oh yeah, like we can all live in the kumbaya. And I'm like, no, I genuinely believe that if we all did this, we would all be happy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I heard something, or I was watching a video about this woman. She's like, okay, step one, like becoming delusional. And
Yeah.
I was like, hey, fucking, if that's what it's called, delusional has worked for me.
Yeah. We're all just operating in different levels of delusion. Let's
It
go.
works.
Yeah. Woo.
I love it. And I love your
Yeah.
energy. I'm
Thank
grateful
you.
for you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. I'm grateful for being asked to be here and really
Yeah.
you sharing this space with me. I really appreciate it.
You got so
I
much
love
wisdom.
the work. Thank you. You do too. You are really connect out
Mm,
here connecting people and
mm,
encouraging people in more ways than one to live their authentic life.
thank
And
you.
I think that's really important in this day and age right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Much love. And then if you want to
Thanks.
share where people can find you, if you want people to find you.
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on Instagram
Me
at
too.
Nods Bay.
Yeah.
And that has a link to my website, and I'm in the process of updating everything, and I
Beautiful.
just want to create some beautiful events with everybody, so hit me up.
Let's do it. I'm going to chat with my friend too about, I know she mentioned something about like some kind of festival thing. So
Yes, we
I need to
absolutely
put
should
my
do that.
feelers out with her.
We could use a lot more music festivals in this world.
Hmm. Music, having art. Oh, yeah. Like doing some like poetry. We can do all kinds of cool stuff.
Ah, love that.
Ah, love it.
All
Okay.
right.